time, there have been stories that changed how we thought, stories that entertained us, and stories that taught us. One of the stories that I really like is called The Hobbit. And it's a story that, like, I've watched the movie, I've read the books, I've actually even watched some YouTube videos about what people thought about it when they read it. And from what I understood, there's a bunch of different characters that we need to look at first. Some of the characters are wizards, which for people that don't really like these kind of stories, wizards are the guys with the pointy hats that do magic and are the cool people, in my opinion. And then we have the elves. The elves are like the immortal characters. They're the ones that can't die unless they're shot or killed like by weapons. And they're also a magical character that help along the way in the story. Then we have the dwarves, which are like the dwarves from Snow White. They sit there and they mine in this big mountain and get all this gold and treasure. And then we have the orcs, which are the bad guys of the story. They destroy and kill things. They're just not the good guys. Then we have the dragon, his name is Smaug, and he destroys, takes over the mountain, breathes fire, dragon things. And then we have the hobbit, which is what the story's about. His name is Bilbo Baggins. And if you don't know anything about hobbits or really care much about this kind of topic, a hobbit is just a small character. He's like a small person, about this tall, and he's just like a calm, collected guy. And he doesn't really like to go out and do special things. He doesn't like to go on an adventure. He likes his life normal. And the wizard comes to him and tells him, "We're going to go on an adventure because we need you. You're small, you're quiet, you can be a good burglar." Even though he's not actually a burglar. The 13 dwarves are going to take him on an adventure to rescue their homeland, to take back the castle, or the mountain, which is their castle. And the reason they don't have the mountain anymore is because the dwarf king, who was a really greedy man, he collected all this gold, even if it wasn't his, he had other people pay him gold. And the dragon, who is very fond of gold and can like smell it from miles away, came and took over their castle and chased everyone out. And the dwarves have found out that it's time for them to take back their castle. So they're on an adventure to go back and take back the castle. And on the way, they run into the elves who, they're not very fond of the idea because they don't want the dragon to escape. So they don't help them very much until the end of the movie or the book. Then we see that there's going to be a war later because The Hobbit runs into the Lord of the Rings series, which is a really long book also by J.R.R. Tolkien. In conclusion, this book was written by J.R.R. Tolkien for his kids as like a story he'd read to them around a fire at the end of the day or before they go to bed, just something kind of like we read from like we read to our kids from the Bible. That's also what this was about. And really, that's all I've got. Thank you very much.